What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Durbin Compound. If you haven't met me already, my name is Devin Durbin, and around here at the Durbin Compound, you haven't really seen it on the YouTube channel yet. I keep the grass really green and thick, and everybody asks, what I do, and how can I get my yard to look like that? How do I stripe like that? And it all comes down to a basic regimen with fertilizer, fertilizing 4 times a year, and overseeding in the fall. So it allows you to keep the grass really nice and thick. Right now we're in early spring. It's the first week of April, so it's a time to put down Halt's crabgrass preventer for this season. So I wanted to do obviously this is how you came to the video, so you know what it's all about. This is the Agri-Fab 130-pound towable spreader. I have it behind my zero-turn mower. I just put a pin in the back of the zero-turn, and I can haul this thing around. So I'm gonna do a little review on it today. I hate doing the unboxing stuff because I think it's lame and it's slow and drawn out. But me talking is also drawn out too. One thing with this is it was pretty complicated to put together. It took about an hour to put it together. A lot of pieces. It was broken down quite a bit. So naturally, you have something this big, it's going to be torn down in the box. So took a while to put together, but once you got it together and you've got it figured out, it's really easy. This thing is big, so you need to have the floor space or somewhere to hang it, somewhere that it isn't in the way when you're storing it off season, because I basically walked around it all winter long in the garden shed. It wasn't out there very often, but when you're out there and you need to get to a generator or something like that, this thing's in the way. So in the future, I'll have to come up with a way to hang this up out of the way or something like that. Overall construction is pretty darn good on this thing. We talk about durability a lot. These air-filled tires, the metal frame to it, the nice thick plastic tub on it, it's built very well. The only thing I see on this being a problem is the gears around where the axle shaft runs with the propeller. That's the only real thing that I would worry about when it comes to durability, but otherwise pretty awesome. So before I fill this thing up with fertilizer, and actually probably going to record me fertilizing a little bit with it, but I want to go over the ease of use, because this thing's incredibly easy to use, but yet what if you can't reach the handle? So I've rigged up a little way for me to be able to turn the spreader off while I'm riding the mower. It's a little bit hard to do. I need to figure something out about it. As soon as I got it out, I remembered that I did not rig up something last year when I said I was going to. So I went through all season last year with this thing. So I've had about a year and a half now. I went through all season messing with it and cursing myself every time I got it out, and yet I still never fixed it. So I'm going to bring you guys around to the front of the spreader. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we're around to the front of the spreader here. So this is the adjustment knob. It's a little nylon wing nut, and you basically adjust with how far you want the little slide on the inside to open. So what happens is, in order to open it up, you just slide this handle back, and then it'll spring load to the front to wherever your stop is. Obviously 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, or the most shut. So the only thing that stinks with this is when you're riding the mower, you have to have this cord or this nylon rope on here to be able to pull the handle up and over to the side. So otherwise you can't manipulate this arm while you're sitting on the zero turn. It's like you have to stand up and get out and do it. So what I do, how I've rigged it up so far, is I put my nylon strap through this hole, and then my rope just slides through it for the most part. And then I can turn it off while I'm riding, and then I'll maybe go over the driveway or whatever. I'll get off the mower, turn it back on because I'm not moving. It's not really spitting anything out. and then I'll start again, and then I can stop midstream by pulling on the rope and getting it back to where I need it. So that's the only thing when it comes to ease of use, is this handle here, having something that you can operate from a distance. But overall, I mean, there's not much ease of use to it. This is it. So let's go ahead and load this bad boy up, and we'll take it outside and start fertilizing the yard. And then we'll talk about performance, and we'll talk about the value of this bad boy. One thing that I do like is that the auger is actually a pin. So this pin here can be taken out, put back in. If you ever bend it or mess it up, it's easily replaceable. So that's really nice. Let's go ahead and load this thing up. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and shut that off. So a 40-pound bag in this thing looks incredibly small. The reason why I only do a 40-pound bag at a time is because you don't want to get, you want to gauge exactly where you're at on the actual amount of fertilizer you have left. I have two big sides of the yard, one the front side of the house and then a bigger back side between the house and the shop. And I want to be able to gauge where I'm at on my 40-pound bag instead of loading it all up in here, and then I end up spreading 80 pounds of fertilizer on the back half and never get to the front yard. So what I'm doing is just breaking up this fertilizer real quick so that I don't have a lot of big chunks. Sometimes it happens, moisture gets into your bag. You need to just figure out these big pieces. It's kind of like cat litter. And cats pee on it, then it makes it into a clump. So just make sure these, what happens is those big pieces will get down by the auger, and they'll actually just bridge a gap down there, and they'll stop the fertilizer from spreading out into the bottom. So all right, let's go ahead and take this outside. You're basically just gonna watch. You can watch, hopefully I'll get a couple good passes and you can see how it works. It's not like a GoPro, so I'm not gonna take it on the journey with me. I'll basically show you how I do it. So I'll have to wash my hands, and we'll start. All right, so I just spread 80 pounds. Was it 80 pounds? 80 pounds of fertilizer over the whole yard, 2 big bags. I just spread all that in about 20 minutes. So as you can see on my video, it made it a lot easier. The first time around, I spread a little bit light on like 1 or 2. And then the next time around, I'll spread on about 3, so I get an even coverage. And I'll go diagonal and then a crosshatch pattern, so I don't have any striping going on or anything like that. So let's go over the performance. I think the performance is really good. It just depends on how fast you're going, on how far it throws it. So you kind of have to pay attention to that. It's hard to gauge it when you're on a zero turn on exactly how far it's throwing it, but get good overlap. It's a pretty darn good unit in that aspect of it. Pulling it behind the mower, it's so easy and nimble. You don't even have to worry about it. You just point the mower wherever you need to go, and it's right behind you. Value, I would absolutely put a thumbs up on the value. At 175 bucks, it's worth not having to sweat your butt off over a push around spreader. So if you have a lot of acreage, like I think I just spread probably 3 acres worth. So on the back half in the field, I'll spread it really light, like 1 or 2, so I can get a couple crosshatch patterns going over the 2.5 acres that are back there. So I will spread it really thin there, but doing that with a push spreader really sucks. I did it one time here at the house, and I was like, I'm going to get a towable spreader. So at 175 bucks, I say you can't beat it. There's plenty of models out there. I'll put the link to this model in the description, but otherwise I would definitely through and through I'd buy another one. I don't foresee it having anything wrong with it or breaking for at least a couple seasons. You probably get 5 years of use out of it and never have an issue. So the value is definitely there. So as always, I hope you like my review. If you guys subscribe, that'd be awesome. See you in the next review. If you have any comments, we'll go ahead and post them below, and I'll get back to you as fast as I can. So see you guys next video.